I'm inside my room right now, even though it's 3 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. I am Drew Walsh. This is Domain to Profit. And here we look through expiring domain names. Every single day, probably every hour, really, domain names are expiring. And those domain names can be an opportunity for you, as they were for me. Expiring domain names have allowed me to build an amazing life where I've taken expired domain names and built just really pretty simple businesses on them that help a lot of people, and in turn have allowed me to have just a great life, in my opinion, my great life. So maybe what's your great life? That's going to be the question. So later on, I'm going to have special guests, my missus, my wife, Crystal, known on Twitter as Mom Dindity. And well, she'll be joining me because maybe in your life you have it as well. You have that partner, that one person that you can kind of bounce ideas off of. And because Crystal very much helps control the decision making, especially the big ones around financial stuff, she's become has quite the eye for domain names as well. So, and let's face it, it's nice to have somebody pretty to look at too. I don't know. Is that allowed to say? Am I allowed to say that? Okay, she's my wife, so we'll go with it. So we're going to just do the normal show, but I'll bring her on a little bit. If you haven't, and if you're watching this on Restream by some chance, live is the way to watch it because you get the community to join us. And the community is awesome because others like you are looking for opportunities, looking through expired domains, looking for something to build a business on. So without further ado, see you on the other side. This is Domain to Profit. I'm Drew Walsh.
From domain to profit, from a dot to a business idea. Take a domain name, develop an income. From domain to profit, we'll show you how. Domain to profit, from domain to profit. Join Drew Walsh and get started right now.
Just wherever.
Okay.
Okay. Well, howdy. I see Fred that has popped in and more following in as well. Aqua Blue, nice to see you as well. I love having you all join. I've not seen Aqua Blue Ice as that label before, so welcome. I appreciate you joining in. This is a weird week because I'm remote, and remote shows are a little bit crazy. Like right now, I got the camera set up on a coffee table. My laptop's up on this little nightstand. I didn't know this about myself, but it turns out that I like to move furniture. I don't really like to move furniture. I just have to move furniture to make this show happen. So I got chairs and everything all over the place in this hotel room. And it's good stuff. So it's good stuff. Let me see. Got more popping in. Got Chaz hopping on. I appreciate you, Chaz. Here we go. And Matt as well. And you can hear me. Yes. The mics I've gotten nowadays luckily help me keep things together. And the other Matt. Yes, Matt, howdy as well. The other Matt, because, yeah. What are we going to do when we get a third Matt? I'm not sure. Well, you guys are going to have to get together and have like Matt parties or something. So as I mentioned, I want to introduce you to someone, and that is somebody really special to me. Met her back in college. We both played trumpet at Ohio State, and she didn't know what she was getting into when she came up and talked to me. This crazy entrepreneurial kid. I was already running businesses, and in fact, she helped me out with one of them early on. But she is here to talk about domain names. I just want to bring her on just so you can see her. The Mrs. Crystal. Oh, you're going to have to sit up, sweetie.
I got to sit up. Forgot.
So this is Crystal. I'll bring her on. She'll pop on occasionally throughout the show just to, well, I don't know. You bring up her input on some of the domain names and things as well. And if, like her, you want to follow along over on Domain to Profit /filters, you will be able to follow the filters that we use on the show to go through expiring domains or expireddomains.net, which is where we look to all of our domain names that are expiring. That is where you'll be able to follow along as well. I have it up on her laptop, or I had it up on her laptop.
It reset itself.
Well, I'll tell you, expireddomains.net is where we're going to go. So with all that said, let me check out Fred's comment here. Leave that mini bar closed. We don't have a mini bar. We're in some condo thing. I love these places. They're real. They're like homes. So, but no mini bar. Okay. Well, I'm going to share out my screen if I could figure out my new button setup here. So here's expireddomains.net. This is hopefully what everybody, including Crystal's seeing on her screen. And so what I've done is I've went ahead and I've set up the filters to get rid of a bunch of different stuff, allow us to come and take 500 some thousand domain names, whittle it down to 88,000 domains. And then we ordered them by this valuation here, which the valuation is just GoDaddy's valuation. So you kind of go to Marketplace and then GoDaddy expired domains. That's where we're looking at, ordered by valuation. And there you should be seeing something, well, exactly what I'm seeing here, which is fairs.com on top. Everybody see that? And I'm saying that as much for the lady next to me here as well. So, so we're just pretty much going to go down the list. And as we see one that we love or not, we'll chime in on them. The main one there, fairs.com, right on top. Google says it's going to be 24,000. I'm guessing it's actually going to go for more than that. How often do you see a 5-letter single word domain name? Not very often. That means it's going to be some pretty big money. The only thing is that I don't like about it is fairs is also like, what if it was fairs or fairs? Fairs or fairs? I don't like it when there's homonyms? Is that what that is?
I think so.
Is that a homonym? So homonym would be like when it sounds the same, but it's spelled differently, right? So,
I should know this. We just learned this in language arts with Ruth. Weeks ago, I should know.
I was going to say she homeschools Ruth, who's with us off right now doing some reading, and she very much. So she homeschools. Yeah, she's like kind of a badass. I'm married to a badass. I had no doubt. So that's one of the reasons why I don't enjoy fairs is, well, I enjoy fairs like merry-go-round maybe, but I don't enjoy fairs as in fees, right? So that's like more like fairs as in airfares. So I'm going to pass on that one. You may love it. But you want to spend $50,000 or more on a domain name that's confusing a little bit? Probably not. We have determined.com. That's a pretty good one. It has positive meaning. Are you determined? Determined.com. I could see that one very much going for 50,000 or more as well. It's not the kind of domain name we necessarily look for on here because that falls in that brandable type area, that brandable domain name. And by brandable, I'm talking about a domain name that doesn't really pass on authority. It doesn't define something. Like determined. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain that with determined. One of the things we'll look at is SpyFu over here, which I don't know if we've ever. Now I'm going to have her spell checking me over my shoulder. Determined.com. You can see I'm actually surprised that there's so many searches. I'm guessing these are all people looking for how to spell determined. But 65,000 monthly searches for determined.com. But if you scroll down, I'm guessing, this is the thing with brandable domains. Nobody's advertising for it, and the cost per click is pretty much nothing. I don't even know who would pay to advertise on determined.com. I have no idea. So you can actually see over here thesaurus. People are just looking up the definition. That's a brandable. It's just a dictionary word that sounds good, but until you define what the word means business-wise, it means nothing. So that's what a brandable kind of looks like when you put it in here. Typically, I would say the domain name would be worth approximately the monthly volume times the cost per click. But in this case, that is not a developable domain name as far as what we look for. We look for domain names that are easily developed, those domains with authority and validation of an industry. So when we see them, you'll see them. So, okay. I love neuropathy. But again, brandable. Like it's not really, you're getting a little more into possibly people searching for it. So let me copy and paste that one in. Let's see if we have money behind that one. So what I'm using here is spyfoo.com, and I'm dropping the .com when I'm putting this in there. So if you've been on Watch Domain to Profit, you're pretty used to seeing me do this. But if you're new, you're kind of like, why isn't he searching for the .com? We're looking for the keyword. We want that exact match keyword to see what's going on with this domain name. And this is some big traffic. 102,000 searches for neuropathy, which is crazy. Pretty wow. Okay, we have some advertisers, so there's actually money happening on this, which is a little odd because typically for anything medical, you're not going to get advertisers, but there's some advertisers, even though they're cheap. I still do not consider this I don't consider this a developable domain name necessarily. Let me do a search. I want to get the definition of neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy, result of damage to nerves located outside of the brain spinal cord. Okay, that's peripheral neuropathy. That's different from neuropathy. I'm pretty sure neuropathy just means brain, right? Do you have any idea what it means?
No, okay. I've never heard of it before.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure it's like a condition of the brain is kind of what it means. So peripheral neuropathy would make sense. Anyhow, it's not. This isn't a medical show. In general, I do like it because it's brainy. I could see it meaning more than what it does, but we're going to skip on. Video blog, I don't like it. I'm going to skip it. Crypto power, brandable, not really much. Live sale, real investor. I'm going to stop saying them all. Unless I should keep saying them. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Chaz is saying Kelly would know what neuropathy means. I feel like I do some brain study stuff, but I don't know. Kelly is Chaz's wife. Chaz and Kelly, Coaster Gabi, they were down here in Florida with us for a tow show. We were down here for a tow show. So
they were actually just down here this morning.
Yeah, they actually just left home, left here today. They were supposed to leave yesterday, but that's besides the point. Okay, let's see. Oh, man, my husband has neuropathy. So it is a condition then. Okay. Well, yeah, see, okay, we got to get off this. We're going to get off this, but I'll just say what Matt just grabbed this off of Google, I believe. But if you see, it's peripheral neuropathy is what that's defining, which is different. Neuropathy is more of a broad term where that is referring to peripheral. So think of peripherals like a printer off your computer or a scanner, something like that. Those are peripherals to your computer, but neuropathy, your brain, is pretty much what it's referring to. So it's your nervous system. I'm getting nerdy. I apologize. I love nerdy stuff. So, but we're going to keep on. I do like the idea of crypto ones, real estate. I saw some good ones. These are good domain names, by the way. The domain names we're kind of passing over. There's a lot of good domain names here, but they're the kind of domains you build a blog on. They're the kind of domains that you might do a class or something on. You can make money off almost any domain, but realistically, NFT portal, yeah, you can build something on it. I mean, it kind of says what it would be. I like leathersmith. I don't know if that's a real word. Matt, did you see that one? First, Matt? I know he's into metalworking and leathersmithing and things. Actually, let's go dive into leathersmith. Mm-hmm. Shall we?
Absolutely.
Shall we dip into it?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, we talked about it. Like, I know a blacksmith would do metal.
Yeah, leathersmith should be.
Matt's probably sitting at home. I know he's into these manly things, like leathersmithing. I'm going to try the single keyword. Okay, well, I like seeing this. So we see location-based searches for leathersmith near me. Looks like single word is good. Putting them together, it's a single word. That's awesome. That actually is going to boost up the value of it. Although there's not many searches for it, not too many people looking for it. We do see a little bit of there's 6 advertisers going on, 32 cents per click. Really not much happening with that. But okay. So we see down here as a alternative keywords that it is typically separated into 2 words, which let's go check that out. What just happened there? Oh, okay. Here we go. So as you can see, the exact keyword leathersmith there's nobody searching for it. But over here, we like seeing this. It's the leathersmith near me. So people are looking for people that deal with leather near them. So there's 1,300. That's the biggest number we've seen so far, 1,300. And let's go check if anybody's paying. One advertiser paying pretty much nothing. So there's no money behind this. And we want money. Mm-hmm. We want money. Well, we don't want money. I mean, you can build a website and help that one person out, but without there being a lot of advertisers behind it, it's going to be a skip as far as we go. But I do like the domain name just from a nerdy domain standpoint, and I could see it going for $1,200 or so, although I am out well before that. At least I think so. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. That's not really our thing.
Yeah, it's exactly. See, that's why I have her. Just that right there. That's helpful. I like car flip. What do you think about car flip?
That could be good with transporters and things.
I know. Like I was thinking,
or even towers.
So, what would you do with car flip? Like I was thinking that if we did car flip, it could be like leases. That like isn't that a thing? Like flip your lease to where you exit your lease early and then you go do something. But is that a brandable though? Well, I don't know. Let's go check out SpyFu. Are you following along SpyFu even? Or are you just doing your own?
I'm doing my own.
own research. Okay, 44. Nobody's really searching for it. No advertisers. Not really happening. But if you're into cars and you're looking for leasing and things, maybe you're interested in doing carflip.com as a brand. Sounds like a fun brand.
It does actually say, Google says car flipping is similar to flipping homes. So buy a car for cheap, rebuild it, remodel it, and then sell it for a higher price.
Well, there you go. If you're a car guy out there, I think Peter asked you, a buddy, developer of mine, runs onions.com. I know he posts, I think his brother or brother-in-law like fixes up cars. So maybe carflip.com is a good one for him. Mm-hmm. Expect him to be tweeting about that this week for sure. Okay, moving on. Code Cracker, fun. Spore Bet. I mean, it's a typo on sport bet. Human Love. There we go. That's why you're here, sweetie. I saw that today. I saw that domain name and was like, oh, I'll bring her on.
What about Druit.com? Did you see that one?
No, I did not. Druit?
Yeah, literally drew it.
Drew it. Wouldn't it be draw it?
Well, if I drew it, kind of sounds like a video game or like a group gaming platform.
There is a video game called Draw It, I think. Yeah, Draw It. It's an online game. I remember playing that one at one point. So yeah, Drew It would be a weird version of it. But yeah, that's not bad. Another one, brandable.
It could also be an artist platform. If you drew it and you post it, try to sell it. Could be something for that too.
I don't know.
Maybe not so great, but.
She's an artist, by the way. Like by artist, she plays piano and very much can be an artist and stuff. So there we go. And yes, Lee, welcome to the show, buddy. Welcome. We appreciate you. Nice having you join us. As you can see, I brought on the missus. I'm actually really shocked that my daughter is.
Oh, she's on her tablet, so
okay.
We won't hear from her.
We're not real big screen families, but smart selling, financial insurance. I hate how long this domain name is, but I'm wondering if this is some real money or fake money. Financial insurance, 135 people. Okay, so now we're starting to get into something though. So this one could be an opportunity, especially if you're out there looking for a cheaper domain name that allows you to enter into a big industry. I assume it'll be cheaper, but I could be mistaken. But look down here. We see that there are advertisers of 10 over here. Cost per click is $4.47. So we have double-digit advertisers. That's something I like to have. Then we have a good cost per click, $2 or higher. The only downside for this one is there's only 135 people searching for it. So financial insurance, I don't even know what it is. Not even sure if it is a thing, but people are searching for it. People are willing to pay. Quite a few of them are willing to pay to reach this audience. Country Financial Insurance, Lincoln Financial Insurance. So looks like people are searching a lot. People use it in their brands generically. So I don't really love it, but if you can get this domain name for cheap, cheap being, I consider cheap and developable to be $1,000 or less. But I could see this one being, if you can get it for even cheaper than that, maybe a few $100s, maybe worth it. Let's click on it and bring it up over on GoDaddy, because I don't think we've done, you're not getting it cheap. It is in an hour. So, okay, this one's ending in 2 hours over on GoDaddy auctions, financialinsurance.com. $25.50 is what it currently is. And I don't know who's going for that. Not me. I'm just now seeing it. Smart Selling, love it as a brand.
Random domain. Did you see that one?
There was a random domain name?
It's literally randomdomain.com. Just made me
That is
laugh.
a random domain. It definitely makes me laugh as well.
Concretepainters.com.
Concrete Painters.
Pretty specific trade, I'm guessing.
Well, let's go check it out, actually. That's a good one. I don't know where that was, but I'll go just type it in and spell it.
I don't know. I don't know all your filters, so sorry. I might have ones you don't.
Concrete painters. I mean, I know people stain concrete, and there's something to be that. Concrete patio painters near me, 440. Concrete painters. I love seeing some localization, even if it's pretty small. No advertisers, though. Sorry for screens going around. No advertisers, no money being spent. And you can also see the search volume, according to Google, is actually quite high. So you might be wondering, why is Google reporting high search volume and SpyFu here reporting 125? It is probably because Google is auto-correcting this to a different domain name. By that, Google doesn't just show you what people search for. They don't just show you basic results anymore. They now look at your intent. You may type in concrete painters, but they are assuming you are actually looking for something else, so they show you those results, meaning the keyword itself isn't benefiting you. Hopefully that's kind of a helpful piece there, because that is what happens a lot of times. You may search for something, but Google's assuming you're actually looking for something else. So maybe there is a better way of saying a concrete painter. Maybe it's actually concrete staining or something, and they know that, and they're actually showing you concrete stainers instead. That's why that number could be so much lower. And I was going to say, let me
go up to my filters.
Yeah, go up top. You can just click. You're logged in as me, so.
Yeah, I know you had 7. I just didn't know which ones they were.
No, you can go to saved searches for us.
Okay.
And GoDaddy.
Got it. Thank you.
I'm helpful. Auto Summit, good brand, city residents, buy hotel, Mind Network, Backworks. My back could use some work right now. Restoring America sounds like a political slogan of every politician ever, which actually that right there, that fact that it's a good slogan for every politician means it's probably good for investment purposes. Home for Christmas. I mean, that's interesting. Don't really know what you do with it, but I do like it when it's a phrase that a lot of people look for or say. Coins 2, playful design. Okay, so these are, so far we're getting those in-between ones. I'm not seeing any home runs really of the kind that I like to see. But we will. So they're good domain names, but unless you are, ooh, here we go. How about fencing companies?
It's a good one.
Fencing companies? Okay. You like it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's grab that one. So here's what I like about this one. This one fits our traditional business model. There's a bunch of companies out there that do fencing, and they're all looking for a way to show up online, ideally without having to pay Google an arm and a leg. Okay, here we go. So for fencing companies, we have double-digit searches or double-digit advertisers. Actually, that's 19 is pretty high. 19 is pretty high. Over $2 per click. So we have good numbers here on SpyFu for fencing companies. 1,600 is the monthly search volume. That is excellent as well. They're not bad, at least. But when we look over here, most people are looking for fence companies, fencing companies near me. So we could localize this domain name. So by localize, that means show the companies near a certain zip code, right? This is exactly what we do on towing.com. We took a nationwide type domain name and then broke it down to where people could find the people in their local area. And in turn, fencing companies near me, you can see big numbers on that one. I don't know. I like that one. So the only thing is, this is when we have to look at alternatives. So we can see that it localizes. You can target fencing companies near me with this domain name. It's a great domain name, go for localization. The only thing is we have to look at the alternative domain names. So by alternative domain names, we are essentially looking at what are all the other domain names that can be done for this to target this industry. Fencing.com, fence.com probably, fence company, fence companies, fencing company. That's 5 right now. There's a lot of other domain names that are as good, if not better, than this domain name. That means that you got to watch out a little bit when you're targeting this specific domain name. But if you can get it for a reasonable price, so the question might be, what is a reasonable price? I would say a reasonable price on this one, I will probably go every bit of $1,600 on it.
Now, do you think there's any confusion with fencing, like sword fighting? Would that throw
That'd
a
be
loop
weird.
into it?
No.
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
It's just a thought that popped into my head.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? Maybe we should check the chat to make sure. She says fencing. Is sword fighting a thing? I don't know. Okay, I'm looking through the chat here. Stuart joining us late. Hi, Stuart. Nice to have you. An auction question: if we had domains, watch the list, never bid. Let me come back to that auction question there. Health gadgets. Okay, so fencing. Back to health fencing.
No health.
So currently $20, ends in 4 days for fencing companies. I'm in on this domain name. I like it up to about $1,200. I come up with that price based on over here on SpyFu. If I could pull that up, I base it, $1,200 to $1,600 range. The search volume, the exact search volume. So these are exact people searching for this keyword. But then this down here, 19 and $3.36 per click. Those are some pretty big numbers. So you can actually, for a developer, this domain name will be in the $1,600 to every bit of $4,000 range just based on that. There's 19 companies out there. There's 19 companies out there that are paying already to target this keyword. So if you think about what that means, they're already paying because they value this term, fencing companies. they identify as a fencing company. And you can go to those companies, implement the local Legion 300, and just pretty much say along the lines of, hey, we own fencingcompanies.com. We'd love for you to show up in your local area. And the local Legion 300, as you probably have heard on past shows, there's 300 cities in the United States, over 300 cities in the United States, with more than 100,000 people in them. You apply the local Legion 300 on this domain name, and voila, you're saving those small businesses some money, giving them a more direct path to them. So now they don't have to go through all the effort of SEO and all that stuff themselves. You do that stuff at an aggregate level for all fencing companies. That's pretty much what we do with towing.com. Save a lot of time, save a lot of money for them. I do like this domain name. You're going to be competing with me for it. So, okay. But that's not bad. Competition's good. I will probably be bidding on this one in the 1,600 to 3,000 range. I'm all for you getting the domain name, though, just so you know. I like the domain name, but I don't like it so much that I want to box anybody out that is going to develop this domain name. So especially those in this industry. So there you go. Fencingcompanies.com. I would say I can guarantee it's going to go for $1,600 or more because I'm going to bid on it more than $1,600. What is it going for right now? Let me go over and view it. $20 currently, so I am not going to go bid on it. Ends in 3 or 4 days. I will add it to my watch list, which let me just take a moment to log into this. And okay, now I'm logged in. Now I can share out my screen a little bit. Don't want you to see all my private information, even though it's on a dozen past shows, but hey. So I'm not going to bid on this, but I'm going to do something called watch list. Okay. And I saw a question from Couch up here. Oh, not that one necessarily. But she's asking a question that I run into myself, which is if we add a domain to our watch list and never bid, is there a way to find out what it sold for? For example, office design was 5,300 with 58 minutes left. Do you need to bid to see the final bid? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I add them to my watch list because I do like to see them. I believe namebio.com will add it. So let me go to office design specifically. I'm doing a search for that. I believe NameBio pulls in all GoDaddy. Yes, here you go. Sometimes it's delayed. So it doesn't happen like the same day. They pull it in real time, but it doesn't add to the search results real time. But you'll see here, officedesign.com ended up going for $10,500. So NameBio is a way to look backwards. You can use it for free. I do a paid account to support with the work that they do. So that's how you can look back at past ones. But adding them to your watch list, the answer is no. It won't actually show you the price it sells for, because once it closes, it's not added to your win or loss column in GoDaddy. Instead, it just kind of disappears. Super annoying. I would love it if they would show it as well. But yeah. Okay. There we go. Fencingcompanies.com. That one is a good development. Hopefully I talked about that enough. I do want to move on. But so we've already been down well over 100 domain names and finally got the one that is great for development. You can develop on any and all of these domain names, but that one's especially good. So, oh man, I thought it was Infinity Wars. Infinity Wares test jet. I like that. Redesign your life. Like, I feel like going on a rant. Redesign your life, people.
There's also playfuldesign.com.
Where'd you see that one?
It's up higher. It is
Playful Design.
Mm-hmm.
It feels brandable though.
It does, but
you like it?
I do. I think of it specifically for designing like playgrounds and designing different fun design things,
Playful
trade
design.
shows, those kinds of things. I think it'd be fun.
Do you want me to look into it?
No.
Or okay.
It just was an idea.
It's good for you, not for me. That's what she just said.
If you have a creative flair, it might be fun.
Like that is, especially when you get into domain names, one of the things that is so different, or one of the things that's so difficult, is these look so great. All of these domain names are great, and you could build on it. And if you're passionate about the product, so be it, or project, or if you are buying it to resell it, yeah, you can try that as well. But as far as what we talk about here on Domain to Profit, we look at turning domain names into businesses, domains into a way to generate an income or to generate value of some sort, profit.
So I just have to say, I see vintagevegandiner.com. Can vegan really be vintage?
No.
It's not been around long enough.
That's a good point. That's why that domain name's crap and somebody's letting it go. All of these domain names are somebody's forgotten treasure or something. No one registers a domain name unless they have an idea, right? I think it's like we just spent this last week this last few days talking to a bunch of towing companies. And the towing companies, they're all entrepreneurs. And I talked to you might think, oh, towing company, they're not really techy or whatever. And I was talking about domain names a little bit, and you better darn well believe even towers very much will go and register domain names, because part of being an entrepreneur is having that vision, that idea for the future. And what do you do in a connected internet world? You go grab a bunch of domain names. Then eventually you realize that there is no such thing as a vegan vintage diner, and you let it go. So there you go. So awesome. I see some name bio discussion. They're good people. They've been at it for a long time. You can see a lot of good data out there. And we'd actually should probably use a little more than what we do on the show, because if you know what it sold for in the past, you can actually have a better idea what it's going to sell for in the future. You should follow them on Twitter also. I really like Name Bio as far as they tweet every day the domain names that have expired previously and what they went for at auction. So you can find out, like, boom, like this domain name sold for $3,000 a couple years ago at auction. So you better darn well count on it being a pretty expensive domain name. So Name Bio, super helpful. I hope it is helpful for sure. Yeah, so there is a free, I think it's a pretty cheap paid account though. It's one of the first ones I did. So, oh, nice. I love seeing the bid on Human Love. I do. See, there we go. Health Gadgets. I didn't see that one up there. I'm going to go dive up into that one.
It was near the top.
Okay. Well, because Health Gadgets is a domain name for sure, I'm going to type that into, I'm wondering what that's going to look like here over on spyfood.com. If I can spell Health Gadgets.
Nope, there's a D before the G.
She's my spell check. 100%. She was like a spelling bee champ for her high school.
Literally. Not high school. Elementary school.
Okay, elementary school. So there you go. Flossie, Nossie, Neil, amplification.
Nope, that wasn't on my list.
The inside jokes you develop in the marriage. Okay, so 2 advertisers for healthgadgets.com. I'm actually a little surprised by the lack of, like, I believe this one is really going to be this is going to be the future, healthgadgets.com. I like it hacking together like health gadgets and things. So even though it's only 360 monthly volume, and even though there's only 2 advertisers, just not really much happening with it, this would be a great domain name for investment. I'm not going to go after it, but when I put on my domain investor's hat, I love this domain name. This is an opportunity for you to get a domain name before it's there. Health Gadgets will be a thing. We'll call them health gadgets when we think about them in a big macro level, like of all the health gadgets. I mean, think of diabetics already have like ways of monitoring themselves with like essentially gadgets that they attach to themselves and always monitoring their blood. You got all these different that stuff's only going to get more. We're only going to have more and more health gadgets. And Apple Watches, I saw that some of the keywords in here were for like Apple Watches and things. You already have, if you have a smartwatch, you already have a way to monitor your heart rate, respirations, and all this. Like, we're only going to get more and more health gadgets. So that one is, worth looking at.
Do you think it's a lower number because people search for the specific gadget that they're looking for right now?
Probably. So, and that's a good point. It was probably more of a, it's probably more of a domain name you would buy if you wanted to run a blog or a shop or something like that.
Makes sense.
So you probably have to build up the brand a little bit, but healthgadgets.com is a darn good brand, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. Hey, entrepreneurial woman. Anyhow, we'll keep moving. Seat repeat. Big nasty. I wonder if I can make you blush by big nasty. Okay, I'm just going to move on.
Let's not go there.
I do like searchforjobs.com. I don't know if there's any volume around it. Search for jobs. Okay. There are lots of searches for search for jobs. Who knew? Okay, search for jobs, 1,200 is the monthly volume, 81 cents, 11 advertisers. So there's stuff happening here. This will get some traction. Let's click on this domain name, see what we have come up with. Hopefully my internet's working okay, because I see that SpyFu's having some struggle. Okay, search for jobs ends in 3 days, $30 currently. Again, on these, anytime you see those bids low or the current bid low, just wait. Although hopefully you remember to bid on it, add it to your watch list versus to bidding on it. And then, ideally 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 seconds left, go bid on it. That would be the best way to go for it. Searchforjobs.com, a job board. Have people pay to post a job. It's pretty much that simple. It's actually shocking how, as I talk to entrepreneurs, towing companies and things, like one of the most difficult things for them is to find people. And they're looking for any site that can give them some kind of advantage. The only thing I don't like about it is search for jobs. I like jobs. I don't really, I like it better when it's niche. Give us some more details in the domain name, but so I'm not going to bid on it. I'm going to watch it. I'll see what all of you crazies out there bid on it. But there you go. Loan problems. I bet you there's keyword volume around that one. But I don't really like that industry kind of pool.
I don't see it on your list, but there's wholesalebabyclothes.com on mine.
Okay.
Maybe it's further down, but I just know, babies don't wear a lot of clothes or for a long period of time. So they're usually in pretty good shape. So there's a pretty good market. I know several moms that they get together and they do garage sales. But if you're good at organizing those clothes and putting them back out, you could almost create like an eBay with baby clothes. That would just be, and especially if it's designer clothes like the shoes.
So you like buy in bulk and then put them out on a mom network?
Yep, exactly. So
see, I would have never saw that domain name or anything. You want me to check it on SpyFu, or you just like to mention the?
I just thought it was a good domain name.
Okay, well, let's go check it on SpyFu. Let's see, wholesale.
Baby clothes.
Baby clothes. Look at that spelling. I don't like how long it is. Okay, well, this is why she's on here, peeps. Okay, wholesale baby clothes, 570. It searches. That's not bad. 19 advertisers.
I told you.
Ding, ding, ding,
pretty
ding,
big.
ding. Low on the cost per click. So that kind of drops us down a little bit. But hey, if you're into baby clothes, you have this business model, which something along the lines of maybe what Chris was talking about. Maybe that's the way to go with it. But yeah, a few $100 spent on it. I don't know where it is, so I can't pull it up. But I can't tell you the exact bid yet. But
do you want me to pull it on mine?
Yeah, if you want to click on it, it'll tell you how many.
It's currently
okay on hers. 4 days left on the auction, wholesalebabyclothes.com. I don't like the length of the domain name. It's pretty long, 3 words as long as I ever go, and those are long words. $105 is a current bid, up to about $5 or so. I'm sorry, 500. Basically this right here. Go up to about $570. That is in line with the money that's happening with that domain name. I haven't checked in on chat in a little bit. Hopefully I'm not missing too much. I think I'm missing a lot. Okay. Yeah. Better than a wholesale baby mat. Yes. Yes. Let's you put that stuff on the internet, you're able to have somebody come knocking on your door. The Code Academy, codeacademy.com, used to be a free site that taught you how to code. Now it's a pay site. I used to refer a lot of people there. But anyhow, don't like the word "the" in front of domain names. You hear that pretty frequently from me. On-demand printing. If I was to pick a 3-word domain name, that would probably be one of them. On-demand printing is a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing.
You so did not just go there.
Another inside. Oh my goodness gracious! I'm clicking all over the place. I really miss the home studio, and by home studio I mean in my office. Is on demand one word or 2?
It can be both.
Okay, it looks like
traditionally it's 2, but sometimes it's 1 for.
Okay, so nobody's paying, but if they do pay, they're paying a lot, which I don't understand that at all. I think it's actually hyphenated, isn't it?
Could be.
Which gets a little bit on the complicated side when you have hyphenated stuff. Okay, print on demand companies, print on demand near me. That's kind of, I like seeing a little localization. On demand printing though, you'll notice that our domain name doesn't show up here. Is that a good or a bad? Well, why doesn't it show up in that middle column? Look here. Here's that we have 720 on demand printing happening with this domain name. So that means 720 for on-demand printing, but it's not in the middle column because all of these domain names have more search volume. Look at this column over there. So all the other variations, print on demand especially, have more search volume than this domain name. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I would prefer our domain to have more, but I like on-demand printing. I like on-demand printing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I like it enough to bid on it. But if you look here, now that we have it as 3 words, on-demand printing, there are 10 advertisers. So we have our double-digit advertisers. We have over $2 per click, and we have 720 volume. So that means that this domain name is going to be in the 880 to, I imagine it can go pretty expensive. Let's see. I believe it's an entire product segment. Yeah, so it's already up to 360. Oh, 41 minutes left. I'm going to bid just because I'm going to bid. I haven't bid on one here live in a while. There you go. On-demand printing, I bid 688. I think it should probably go for that or more, but if I get it, I'm happy to have it. That is an entire industry. So that's what I like to see as an industry-defining domain name. On-demand printing is an entire industry. I'm sure there's a conference for on-demand printing.
Probably.
Like on-demand tech and stuff. And if there is a conference, a seminar, a trade show for your industry, for an industry that you own the domain of, like that is freaking huge. Like that's huge. Towing.com. There's towing conventions all over the US and world. Photobooths.com. There's a couple photo booth conferences, even though it's kind of a newer industry. DJs.com, don't even get me started. I'm sure there's a bunch of those as well. We know there's a bunch of those, although they're really loud. So if you have a domain name and there are trade shows for that specific industry that is so big, you should have that domain name developed and you should be doing something with it. They're bringing those people together for you. Like, that's why we are down here in Florida for the trade show. It's like they bring the people together for you, and you are bringing the people together on your domain name for the world. It's a trade show every day on your domain name. I like that, actually. It's a good way to think of it. The career guide. I'd prefer career guide. See,
I could go with the search for jobs.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing is the. I would so much rather have careerguide.com rather than the career guide.
Do you see hotyogastudio.com?
What?
Yeah.
Where was that at? Okay, I like that one a lot,
I figured
actually.
you would. That's why I brought it up.
Hot Yoga Studio. I'm opening up a new window here, and I'm going to do hot yoga. I do not see it.
It's right there.
Did you already go on to the next page?
Nope. It was a little below. Did you see President Mommy? Or I don't know how you'd find it.
I wonder if I gave you the wrong filter. Oh yeah. Well, if Hot Yoga Studio, I do like it. If that's a thing. Hot yoga being a version of yoga.
It's like there's a little over 2 days left. Well, almost 3.
Okay, so 2 days left in the auction. 3 days left on the auction over on GoDaddy Auctions. $36 left, or $36 is the current bid. And as you see up on my screen, Hot Yoga Studios near me, 1,800 searches. Hot Yoga Studio, singular, near me, 1,300 searches. Hot Yoga Studio, 360 searches. Advertiser only one. And $1.70 is the current cost per click. But these numbers over here, the localization of this, and think about who runs a hot yoga studio. It's going to be small businesses, right? It's going to be somebody that probably has some space. They love yoga. They're passionate about it. So do you think they care more about hot yoga or internet marketing?
Hot yoga.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. So they don't want to deal with all the internet marketing stuff. They want to run their passion of being a hot yoga studio. So there you go. You simplify their internet marketing, give them an easy way for people to interact with their company. I like it. I'm going to bid on it somewhat heavily if I can ever find the domain name. I'm not sure.
Add it to your watch list.
I'm not sure why it's not showing up on my list. And why am I spelling yoga wrong?
No, that's
What's the matter with it? Okay, I'm not sure why she's seeing something different than me, but
I don't know.
Okay, now I have my computer all messed up, but we're wrapping it up anyways. But let's get down to the bottom of the list. And oh my goodness, I'm sorry, this is a disaster, but let's get through this last couple page downs. I might have missed a couple, and if you see something that I'm not seeing, feel free to yell it out at the screen. I just realized I wasn't sharing out my screen for that little bit, which be happy because otherwise you might have gotten a little motion sick. I was clicking all over the place. So hotyogastudio.com. I love that domain name. I'm going to have to look into it, but my gut tells me I'm willing to pay a couple, like $1,600, probably up to $3,000 for that domain name. Mostly because I love when somebody does a business that is about passion. And people do yoga out of passion, out of love. They don't do it out of necessarily wanting to make money. They just want to make money off their passion. And if I can help them do that, then I get really into that idea. So you're going to be bidding against me. As always, with all of these, feel free to message me over on Twitter. My DMs are open. Follow me, DM me. If you are going to go after one of the domain names I've mentioned that I'm going to go after, we can chat. I don't necessarily need to win these things. And especially if you're a regular viewer here on Domain to Profit, I'm fine bailing on a domain name. I want them developed. That's the key thing. It doesn't have to be me. Doesn't have to be me. Okay, let me check out the chat. And we will kind of wrap things up as we're coming up on 3 o'clock. And let me see here. Let me, Drew, what's your, oh yeah. Well, let me get, that's good. Walter, nice to have you. I'm not sure if I've seen Walter on here before. I apologize if I have, but it is nice to see you. Last walk acquisition. I'll run you through all the domain names we've talked about so far and show you what I've bid on recently and domain names I've purchased. I will do that here shortly. And I'm also just kind of running down through the chat to make sure that I did not miss anything. Unfortunately, I'm on this one little laptop. When I'm remote, it does limit me a little bit. Okay, let me see here. And the software I use, this is expireddomains.net, free website, David, over on LinkedIn. Expireddomains.net, free website. It's not even my website. I just love it. Click the links, and it supports the person that creates it. And I'm going to share out screens one more time. We are going to run through some of the domain names that we've talked about here on Domain to Profit as we wrap things up. We had on-demand printing, which I have currently the highest bid on that domain name. You're welcome to outbid me. I love it. Seems like it's defining an industry, or it is an industry, which I love to have. Searchforjobs.com if you're looking to build a job board. Nice generic domain name, 3 words, nice and simple. Had some searches for it. $30 current bid. Fencingcompanies.com, another one I'm going to go heavy after. I love that one for well over 4 figures. I believe I was saying 1,600 to possibly 3,000 on that one. So that's one. Message me on over on Twitter. Financialinsurance.com ends here shortly. I don't like it, but if you're into the financial insurance stuff, I know there's big money. It's just not my thing. So from there, I'm going to go over to auctions. Not GoDaddy. And we're going to dive into my actual portfolio. I'll show you some of the stuff that I have bid on. Okay, so I don't think I won anything this week. I think I took a lot of losses over the last week. Let's find out, though. Yes. Loss. So, yeah, I've not won any. I did go heavy on a couple of domain names, though. I really wanted local loans. We talked about that last week. As you can see, I was in on that one. I'm guessing I was bidder number 2. They beat me right at the last. Well, I hit my max bid, which was around, I think I did 36.88 or so. I love local loans because it's local. As you know, with me, I love localization, and I got an approval from you, right? You Absolutely. Heard it, and you were pretty excited about it.
I thought it was pretty good, decent.
So I was able to convince her, and if I can convince her, she's usually my devil's advocate when it comes to these things. But I love the idea of local lending. Like, if there's one time that nationwide banks shouldn't be involved, it's when it comes down to loans. Like, loan your neighbor, loan to your neighborhood. I love the local piece of that. But I lost. Russian vodka, I couldn't pay. I had to bid on that a little bit. I believe I was number 2 bidder on that one as well. RussianVodka.com, ended up losing. But as the owner of bartenders.com, when we go to develop that one out, I wouldn't have minded owning Russian vodka. I'm actually surprised it didn't go for more than that. But I think everybody's kind of banning Russian vodka, and that includes RussianVodka.com. So that's pretty much it. Not really much happening in the way of domain names this week. But, you know, that's just the way it is. That's the way it is. So there we go. Okay, let me check the chat one more time. And I also will say, summarizing, hotyogastudio.com, another one that I'm going to be bidding on for sure. I love that domain name. I'll be checking it out after the show to bid on that one. It's probably my favorite one of the day. I like on-demand printing, but Hot Yoga Studio, I've never done it. I don't even know what the hell Hot Yoga Studio is.
I just turn the temperature up, and it's like 80 to 90 degrees in the studio.
But you've never done it either, right?
I've never done it, but it's curious to try it.
Yeah, exactly.
We just did 3 weeks of yoga.
We did 3 weeks of yoga and workouts over the last few weeks, getting ready for the trade shows. That way we're limber and stuff. Although I don't feel very limber right now. So there we go. But I guess that is around the time to wrap things up here on Domain to Profit, where we come together each week at 3 p.m. I'll pull you up one more time to let's just say hi and bye. And so I am Drew Wash.
I'm Crystal.
And we are here joining you for Domain to Profit. If you've not, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell button thing even, because that's cool and we appreciate it. But if you like domains, if you like opportunities, we come to you each week at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Domain to Profit, whether we're in Orlando, Florida, or Cincinnati, Ohio back home. We love domain names. We believe they provide an opportunity for you. They can build a life for you just like they have for us. Thank you for joining me. I'm Drew Wash. Take care. And now I have to find the music because I forgot to have that prepped. There you go. See you later.